What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to LTQ Wrestling Podcast. Monday Night Raw, the final one before Christmas took place, and not really the most eventful Raw. I think they're kind of just going through the motions before the Raw debut on Netflix. But still some good stuff throughout the show. Drew McIntyre kicked off the show. He comes out, talks about, why he was gone, and he had a family member pass away, and he only had one person call and check up on him. And he was talking about how everybody in the locker room's around each other more than they're around their own families. And they talk about how they're one big happy family, and that's all a bunch of load of crap. Nobody cares about him, and that's why he's in the mood he's in. And listen, as a heel, Drew has a lot of valid points. Yes, they're co-workers, but you also consider them friends, and they're not calling to check up on you. Nobody's calling to see, how you're doing, Drew. Why are you not been here? Are you okay? And Sami Zayn comes out and he's talking about, listen, Drew, all of us, just figured you were recovering from that brutal Hell in a Cell match with CM Punk. None of us knew that you had a family member pass away. And then he starts talking about how everybody goes through that, including himself, the fans, all in attendance, how everybody's going through a struggle, whether it's family, finances, life, and they all have to just keep getting back up day after day to do what they got to do to get through. And listen, this was a fantastic promo. A lot of realness to this promo from both sides. Because listen, Drew's mad, but he has a valid reason to be mad. Just like Seth Rollins is mad and KO is mad, and Sami Zayn with some solid points as well. Like, listen, everybody goes through stuff, but don't play the victim. Don't blame everybody else because you're going through stuff. And that's exactly what Drew's been doing. And Sami ends up ending it by hitting Drew with a microphone. They start brawling. Out comes Jey Uso after Drew McIntyre takes control, and they clothesline Drew McIntyre outside the ring, and that sets up the main event for later tonight between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. Great segment to kick off the show. I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy a lot of truth in these segments. Obviously, you know, Sammy is that baby face. He's that guy who's real. People can connect and really agree with him as well. A lot of fans can connect with what Sami Zayn is saying. This was no different tonight, and that leads to the main event. Io Sky defeated Alba Fire and Natalia to advance in the women's intercontinental title tournament. Not really anything special when it comes to a match. Went about 8 to 10 minutes. Io Sky gets the win. She replaced Kairi Sane, who got injured backstage last week. We had Chad Gable against Kira Tozawa. Nothing special. Gable gets the win with the ankle lock, and then Otis gets in there after him and the Creeds try attacking Tozawa. They have a stare down, and it sets up Otis against Chad Gable for next week. Maybe they're finally going back to this. The fans seem to still be into Otis. I know there's some piped in crowd noise, but even when there's not, they seem to really get behind him and really want him to be over as a babyface. So we'll see if they finally do something with Otis, but I feel like it might be a little bit too late. We'll see. We had Dom Mysterio against Damian Priest. Nothing special here. Ends in a DQ after Finn attacks Damian Priest. The whole Judgment Day surrounds Priest in the ring as they're about to beat him up. Out comes the War Raiders. I almost said Viking Raiders. War Raiders as they come to the aid of Damian Priest after he helped them last week win the tag titles. And they all stand tall as the Judgment Day retreats. Listen, I'm just over this Damian Priest and Judgment Day thing, just like I'm over the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan feud. I'm ready to move on. Hopefully, the Raw on Netflix is the end of all this, at least with the Rhea and Liv feud. We'll see. But man, it feels like it's just never going to end with this whole Liv and Rhea and Damian Priest and Finn thing. Just end it and let it move on. And I just think Finn's really been just mismanaged when it comes to his booking. I mean, I feel like he should be booked a lot better. I know he was tag team champion, but he just hasn't really done a whole lot, really. I mean, they barely even defended the titles. So hopefully they do something with Finn, but I don't really have too much high hopes. We had Seth Rollins do an interview. Wasn't really nothing crazy. He's just talking about his match against CM Punk on the Netflix premiere. Talking about how we're going to see a Seth Rollins we've never seen before, how it's eating at him inside of his brain, and he has to just let go, or it's going to be the end of him. So that was pretty much it for that. We had Miz against Dexter Loomis, another match that did absolutely nothing. Karrion Cross comes out, attacks Dexter Loomis. Him, AOP, Miz surround Loomis in the ring. Out comes the Wyatt Six. They surround the ring. The Final Testament recruit, and this feud is going to continue. I've seen a lot of fans complaining about how the Wyatt Six has been debuted, been really booked. But I mean, hey, there's only so much you can do with a group like that to begin with. I wasn't really on board with it to begin with. I just don't like the Bray Wyatt gimmick or any gimmicks similar to that. I just don't see it really having like a main event type of impact. They're always going to be a mid card act. They're not ever going to be anything above that, in my opinion. But we'll see. We had the New Day segment, which was gold. They took a shot at Wade Barrett, saying, "You know, Wade, you probably never come out of retirement. If you do, blah blah blah." And they had Kofi's mom in the audience, and Kofi's talking about how he flew his mom here from his country, and she didn't come here to see her son get booed by all you fans. And he goes to his mom in the crowd, who's sitting front row. He goes for a hug. She gets up, and she says, "What's wrong with you?" And she walks off. So even Kofi's mom's angry with him. She's not happy. She's just not on board with this Kofi and Xavier Woods betraying Big E. And it's just a great segment. I really think they've been doing a great job with the New Day heel turn so far. We'll have to see where it leads up. And in the main event, Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. Good match. Went about 20 minutes. Actually, about 15 minutes. Ended about 5 minutes before the airtime went off. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore. Sami Zayn was selling his back. Drew did a sidewalk slam on the apron, and Sami was getting ready to go for the Luva kick. His back gave out. Drew hits the Claymore for the 1, 2, 3. And then he tries to attack Sami Zayn after the match. Out comes Jey Uso. He's trying to help Sami. And then the Bloodline pops up. Solo, Jacob Fatu, and the rest of the crew pop up. They attack Sami. They attack Jey. And they stand tall as Drew gets the win and is still undefeated in his career against Sami Zayn. 10-0. Sami cannot beat Drew McIntyre. He's got his number. And that's pretty much it for this Raw's episode. Again, not really anything that you're going to go, man, this is incredible. But it's a tape show. Like I said, they're kind of just stalling towards the Netflix debut, which is understandable. So it makes sense. But let me know what you guys thought about Raw. If you end up watching it, comment your favorite episode or favorite moment from Raw down below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more wrestling content. Peace.